Hello everyone, how you going and welcome back to Awfultastebutgreatexecution. You know, the place that really there's not much to say besides just look at those top banners there. It really just sets the expectations of what this sub's going to be right from the start. And like it says, everything that displays quality craftsman in the least elegant way possible. It just makes for things that you go, wow, I guess it's good, but why and how did you even think about that? But let's jump straight into it. Starting off with Yikes. Whoa, that is a yikes. You like heaven, don't you, Moe? March 10th, 1973 to March 14th, 2019. Oh my goodness. I mean, yeah, I guess this is the perfect kind of thing for this sub, you know. It's definitely not something I would ever think I would ever get, and it's a thing of something. But I mean, if it means something to you, and it means something to you. But why that image of SpongeBob, you know? I get it, there are so many different SpongeBob's memes, but I don't even know if that one really works for what you're going for here. I guess the artistry and the tattoo is pretty decent, you know. It doesn't look too complicated. It's all kind of just outlined, bubbles, and then a bit of shading and whatnot. And at least that's always the thing with this sub is, you know, the tattoo's always going to be at least done well, regardless of what it actually is. At least it's done well, otherwise it just doesn't fit the category. Man, she wasn't even that old, which is pretty crazy. She was what, just 46 by 4 days. That's really young, my goodness. So yeah, this one certainly is starting off with a pretty high bar, you know. It's not anything different to anything we've kind of seen before, but still, it's just, oh, like I said, a yikes. I want this now. That is so good. It's a BMX bike and a monocoque. Oh god, that's kind of like the fastest Indian style monocoques, you know, all those just crazy bullet bike style things. My goodness, that thing's ridiculous. And it's going to be so heavy to have to pedal around, you know. It's not like a motorbike where you just kind of have to flick your wrist and you're all good. This is just going to be ridiculous to pull up a hill. You know, maybe you'll get a bit more speed going down the hill because you weigh a bit more, but to get it around town in general, it's just going to be so much more effort. I mean, but yeah, look, it does look as though it looks pretty good. It's very shiny and you got nice curves to it. So again, it certainly belongs on here. I don't really know what the orange light on the front is doing, you know. That almost looks like a tail light or a single indicator on the front, which doesn't really make any sense. But oh man, I wonder what the original inspiration for this was. Because, you know, this would have had to been custom and whatnot, and so it would have cost a bit as well. So why you do it, I have no idea. And really, I didn't even think about it with the light and everything. That means there's electrics, and that means there's a battery. You know, there's no way you're powering that light just with your pedal power. So it's definitely an interesting contraption someone's designed here. It's complete form of a function in this regard. I'd love to see some other angles of it, you know, a 360. Does it have reverse lights? Does it have all these other things, you know? Because, you know, look at the shine on that thing. But anyway, even though this is a BMX bike, I reckon you would get more looks traveling around in that thing than you would in a Lamborghini. There's no way you would be able to ride down the road and not have everyone just going, what am I looking at? Pretty crappy design for a slide. Oh no, this is actual crappy design. But even the little hats, you know, someone's actually gone out of their way and fully designed this thing. Maybe it's to teach kids to go to the toilet and whatnot, or about sewers or water usage, but really, what is going on and who designed this? I wonder where it leads to as well. Surely there's kind of some massive underground playground under there. But really, I guess it is Awfultastebutgreatexecution and crappy design, as I said, you know. If someone's actually fully installed that, I don't know what the budget would have been, but it wouldn't have been cheap to create that entire thing. And however long someone spent designing it, just going, really? Well, I guess that this is what I'm getting paid to do, so whatever. But imagine being the designers and then the installers, and someone approaches you from the council or from the wherever, and then they go, how do you reckon we can go about it? And you go, excuse me, what? You want to send kids down the toilet? I certainly would have loved to have been a fly on the wall with that conversation. But anyway, if it's an educational thing, it almost gets a pass. Even though it is kind of awful taste, you know, how else do you present this in an engaging manner, you know? Realistic baby Yetis found on Etsy. What am I looking at? That is an abomination. What? How do you even go about doing this? You have to do an entire hair transplant onto a doll or something. That would take so long to do. Oh my goodness. And just the piercing blue eyes that are behind that furry face. It just looks weird. Because you can kind of make out the human features of it, but then it just doesn't look human at all. My goodness. I just don't even know how to feel about this thing. But I guess that's what this sub really is. But looking at it more, I just don't even know how you do all the fluff. Like on the legs, does it get glued on? And I wonder if under that little onesie thing, that if it's completely fur the whole way, I can only imagine. It's really just taking me completely by surprise. Look at it. But you said it was on Etsy, so I wonder how much these things cost, you know, because these kind of custom dolls can be crazy expensive, you know. Like I said, I wonder how long it took, and labor is time, and time is money. So someone would probably be charging some ridiculous figure for this weird thing. So wow, only on Etsy would you find something like this. My goodness. Too permanent for my taste. What am I looking at here? Donald Trump as Mr. Potato Head with China and a MAGA hat. Really, where does someone get the inspiration to combine Mr. Potato Head and Donald Trump? This has to be a dare. There's no other way that someone would go, that is what I want on my leg. God, all these posts just make you go, oh, inside. They just make you feel wrong. Just knowing that someone has this on their body for the rest of their life, unless they get it changed or removed, but realistically, they'll have some form of this on their body for the rest of their life. Just makes you feel sick. It's just awful, awful, awful taste. And hey, like always, the tattoo artistry is on point, you know, look at the shading and the color, that's all good, but I just don't understand where someone got the idea to combine Mr. Potato Head and Donald Trump. It's just not really a combination I even think of really being together at all. You know, was someone watching Toy Story on one monitor and they had the news up on the other and they went, you know what, that's exactly what I want in my body. Donald Trump wearing a MAGA hat as Mr. Potato Head. It's just gotta be the greatest thing ever created. Looking at it though, I don't really get where the ears have come into it though, because Mr. Potato Head I don't really think had massive ears, or you know, like, let's have a look. Oh no, he did. Oh my goodness, I completely misremembered. I was thinking of him as being completely smooth. I'll see if I can try in a photo like that. Wow, I completely forgot. That's shameful of me. In that case, I completely understand where the ears have come into it, but still, oh my goodness, and it's just an abomination, isn't it? I do have to applaud though the little detail of the red, white and blue and I guess black stripes are all around here, you know. Obviously that's America's colors and that's a cool little detail. And really, if we're touching on the stripes, just the addition of the China onto that, you know, you could have just had the Mr. Potato Head, the Donald Trump, and that would have been sweet. But no, the fact that you added the hat and then the fact that you added the China as well, it's just a crazy conglomeration of random things. So yeah, even though it makes me feel sick, I just have to laugh at it as well because I just cannot understand and fathom how someone created this in their mind. Richard Nixon fighting a saber-toothed tiger. 2 presidents in a row. What is going on here? That is a massive tiger though. Look at the size of the thing. I guess it is a saber-toothed tiger looking at those fangs. But again, where does Richard Nixon come into the question? Why does he seem to be winning? You know, look, he's got the entire saber-toothed tiger on its back with, you know, kind of no defense, just about to go in for the last shot. And it doesn't even look like the tiger's got a single hit on him. Look, his entire suit is completely unscathed. He's got brass knuckles in his left hand, ready to go. Wherever he got them from, who knows? But again, I just don't understand how people create these things. I guess it's a testament to just how creative some people on this sub are, really. Obviously, I'm sure there's a million other things that are just really, really poor. You might as well just be stick figures. But look, like, look at this. This is art. And so, hey, considering it's art, maybe it has some underlying political meaning and I just do not know about it. But either way, I'm just taking it on face value and it is very strange on that. A boat designed after a zipper to give the look as though it's unzipping the water. Wow, I don't even think that this is awful taste in a way. This is just kind of something that is just different. You know, there is a line between just being a bit out there and just having awful taste. You know, obviously that's a very personal opinion about where that line is, but I don't think this is awful taste. I just reckon it is being a bit out there and kind of pushing the boundaries of architecture and design. And then if we look at the second photo as well, look at that. You can really see what it's trying to achieve. You know, you got this boat wake behind that really just does give that split as a zipper. I really am just curious about if this front bit is a usable deck or not, because if you can't stand on it, then that's just awful taste. But if you can stand on it, then that's just a bit out there in terms of your design. That's the kind of things I'm weighing up when I'm deciding, is it awful taste or is it just weird design? Because, you know, there are buildings all over the world that take funky shapes, or things in parks like benches and tables and chairs that are designed to look like something else. And then we have boats that are kind of just being a bit random, but I think it's kind of cool. I wonder if it was built from the ground up or if it was built off kind of a little dinghy and then just kind of built on top of that, you know. They didn't make an entire boat from scratch. They just kind of plonked this zipper on top of an existing one. But really, it makes sense, you know. You do just have that infinitely splitting wake behind the boat, and that kind of does look like a zipper. And especially if you're going over the waves, you kind of have the little tooth marks in each zipper almost. So I don't know, even though I'd never buy it, because if I was looking, I'd look for something that is a little bit more functional than this. I do think it's kind of a cool idea, and it looks well done. You know, to be fair to it, you know, if someone like Mr. Beast or Logan Paul or any random big YouTuber did that, everyone would call it some crazy cool contraption. But when some random person does it and then it gets posted to the internet, it's kind of considered awful taste. See, I don't think that's very fair. And also, looking at this first photo, it looks as though it's on a higher angle here, because it's completely flat here and it's angled up here. So imagine if the actual kind of pull tag bit could go perpendicular to it, and then it would be a sailboat as well. That would be really, really cool. So I don't know if it can do this, but maybe in a future design it can, and then it's a 10 out of 10 for me, because that is just crazy engineering. Strawberry skull. I mean, yeah, that is a strawberry skull. I can only imagine it wasn't carved on a real strawberry, and you can see it's not considering the kind of texture and whatnot here, but it's extremely well done. It's hard to get the scale of it though. I guess if you look at the grass and kind of go off that, it would be a decent size, you know, it's certainly not strawberry size. But yeah, I wonder what it's made of. I wonder if it was just injected molded plastic and then someone painted it, or maybe actually if it was 3D printed, that would be really cool as well. You know, 3D printers are getting pretty high res, so I wouldn't be surprised if someone could do it on a 3D printer, even though it doesn't look as though it's done on a 3D printer. You know, unless it's been sanded, it just looks too smooth to be from a 3D printer, because 3D printers have the lines from all the layers. But either way, it certainly looks hand painted, and I have no idea how you do the eyes, because they are piercing eyes. You know, it'd be easy for an artist to just kind of draw this up in Photoshop. They could get real eyes and whatnot, chuck them in to be all good, but for someone to actually make it, that's kind of impressive. Again, I don't even know if this is really awful taste. Yeah, it's a bit weird, but I can certainly see it being sold in shops almost. You know, whether it be as a Halloween decoration or just a big kind of artwork in the corner, whatever it is, I just really don't think it's that bad. You know, obviously it's not out there, but I don't think it's all for taste. It is just a bit different. And yes, it is certainly helped out by the fact that it is so highly detailed and so well done. You know, you look at this edge here and like I said, the eyes and the teeth and whatnot. Actually, looking at it now, I think it's real human head sized. So yeah, you know, it's obviously an artwork or something of the sort, so it can't be that bad. This bathroom covered in carpet. Now here we go. Now, this is more Awful Toast for great execution. There's no reason that carpet should ever be in a bathroom, ever be in a kitchen, none of that. This is the abominations of creations that I come here for. Oh my goodness, and the roof and the walls, not even just the floor. They have done every square inch of this place, haven't they? Actually, that looks as though it's a shower, and I'm disappointed that they didn't do it in the shower. That would have been truly next level. And I guess they don't have it in the bath, and they don't have a carpet toilet seat either. So really, they're missing some places that could have been done. Maybe they just ran out of budget, you know, they just used all of their budget on doing the inside of the windows and doing the roof and going into every nook and cranny of this roof that they just ran out of carpet. But no, really, I just don't understand how anyone thinks this is something that should be done. And this has to be a DIY job. Surely there's no way to convince carpenters to do your walls and your roof in your bathroom with carpet. They'd just be like, no, whatever you're paying us, just don't be ridiculous. Please do not do this. We don't want your money. Go somewhere else. And then they go, well, I guess we have to do it myself then. And really, it's just the color choice too. You know, you've got the gold and then the pink. You know, it would have been just as bad functionally, but at least if you chose a gray or white or something, you know, more bathroom colored, at least it wouldn't look as gorish. Especially with the black bath toilet and sinks, it really is just a combination that no one should be laying their eyes on. But hey, at least they've got a plant in there. Never get caught in a rainstorm unprepared. I mean, I kind of love it, and it's a different kind of love to the boat zipper and whatnot. This is definitely awful taste, but it is something else. I just can't see how no one would notice that you have an entire umbrella stacked under your suit. You know, if you were going through an airport with this thing, you would get pulled up immediately. There is no way you'd be able to get this through. Everyone's just going to be thinking you're smuggling something else, definitely not an umbrella through security, because it would just be so bulky on your chest and so uncomfortable too. You know, you could never lean over. At least with a tie, you can leave it over and it doesn't stab you in the stomach. But this is just going to dig into you every time you move. I mean, unless you want really good posture and you want to be really upright at all times and you just want to walk like a stick, but then maybe you get the big Bunnings umbrella and stick it down your spine and have perfect posture. But oh my goodness, how is this a thing? I mean, hey, props to the designers. Obviously, they got it looking pretty good, you know. They've got the polka dot on point and the color matches the suit, but man, I just can't see anyone ever actually using this. You know, surely you can just look at the weather and go, oh, it's going to be raining tomorrow. I guess I'll need my umbrella. Not go, oh, I better wear the same tie every day all year just in case. You know, guys in suits generally have some kind of a bag off them anyway. You know, whether that be for books or a laptop or whatever, but surely you could fit an umbrella in there. I would just love to have known how the conversation went down with this model. You want me to do what? You want me to model an umbrella tie? Really? How is this even a thing? But alright, if you're paying me, sure. That's just how all these things seem to go, you know. It's just like, if you're paying me, sure. There's nothing else we can do about it. And you can even see it on his face, you know, he just really doesn't seem too committed to it. And I think there's definitely a reason for that. Embroidered Toast. Wow, that actually looks super impressive. Again, it's another one that I kind of just go, well, it's art, isn't it? And it's really well done, and I guess of course it is, because it's all for taste but great execution, but still, it's kind of just cool. I can imagine this being an entire artwork suite, you know, you got burnt toast, and then buttered toast, and bread and whatnot, and then you could have all these other things, like sliced onion, and all this other embroidered stuff, and that would look really cool on a wall at a cafe or something, so I don't know, it kind of looks cool. And just the detail of it, you know, you got all the different colors, you get the holes in the bread, it really is just the perfect piece of toast, isn't it? And I don't really know much about embroidery, disagree, but I can only imagine this took quite a while to do. You know, cooked to perfection, and if you disagree with that, you're a complete monster, because you know toast should be that undercooked, or no toast should be that burnt. You know, you're meant to be able to enjoy the thing, not have ash in your mouth. And because of the 3D nature of the embroidery, it almost looks as though it's completely floating, so it just adds to the entire kind of artwork and how well it's done. So I don't know how awful taste this is really. You know, I'd slap some Vegemite on that, and I reckon I could eat it without even knowing. Unsure if comically great or horrendously absurd, but they're mine now. Oh yes, my dear friend. They are some high class shoes. Wow, and I'm glad that we have such a high res photo to enjoy this from, because look at all the detail in it. And I wonder if they're kind of lifts as well, because that's a massive heel in them. You know, obviously designer shoes, if you even want to call these designer, but often designer shoes do have this massive foam heel on them. But I don't know about this one, as if your heel goes down into here, and this massive kind of bottom of the bun is just for show, or if it actually is the sole of the shoe. But I wonder how much this person spent on them, because they would not be cheap. And surely this is some kind of limited run or a one-off even, because there's just no way they can be expecting to sell that many of them. They're amazing shoes for some outfit or as a gag gift, but oh my goodness, imagine seeing someone actually wearing them out and about generally every day as their main go-to shoes. I just love how this person's kind of questioning their own choice. You know, what do they say? Unsure if comically great or horrendously absurd, but they're mine now. You know, they've bought them for however much and they're going, oh, should I have actually bought them? I know that I bought them for a reason, but is it because they're so bad, or is it because they're amazing? And I don't even really know either. You know, if something could be both amazing and horrible at the same time, that is this. So yeah, I wonder who makes these shoes. Actually, we'll search it up. Burger shoes. Do they come up, and do they have a price? Oh my goodness, they do come up, and oh my goodness, they're so cheap. They're only $52. Yeah, these look identical to the other ones. They're usually 90, but now they're only 52. What a steal. But looking at these, they certainly do look as though they would give you an extra inch and a half or something, because man, look at the size of that heel. So wow, really, I thought they were going to be like a couple $1,000s, but really for 52 bucks, that is an absolute steal of a pair of shoes. Cat bum cookie cutter might taste good though. What am I looking at, and how is this a thing? Oh my goodness, put your tail down, cat. And look at this, it's just such a complex mold as well. You know, you have to have the normal style cookie cutter shape, and then the top down press in to actually make that shape. And also you have to get just the right amount of mixture, otherwise it's not going to rise enough, or if you have too much, then it's going to be a hell of a black hole. But again, how do people come up with these creations? I know where someone got the inspiration for this one at least, but how did someone think that that is something that they could make into a cookie cutter? Unless you were given it as a friend as a joke gift or something, I just don't see how you see that on the shelf and go, you know what, that's for me. I think this is one of the posts with the least detail, but that just doesn't need it to be so awful. You know exactly what is going on here. You know, it has one purpose and it achieves it perfectly. Even though it might scar everyone that eats one, but still it does its job. You know, you definitely don't want to ice these with chocolate or something, because that could just be a whole nother kind of thing to deal with. I reckon you definitely want to just go for a kind of a tabby cat or a grey or some kind of cover up color, I guess you could say. And I just love how they don't even look as though they're the same, so I don't know how well your mold works, because look, these legs look completely different to these legs. I don't think it's just the perspective of the photo or anything. They actually do look kind of completely different, which is just crazy, because I don't know how a cookie cutter can be different. And actually, really, I think this is kind of the anime style of doing cat bums. You know, they just often do the little X and that, nothing else. So maybe that's where the direct inspiration came from, because that is definitely something I can see of buying at a kind of a $2 store in Japan. So hey, at least it's being a little bit modest and not being too graphic, but really no one needs this in their life. And the top of all for taste but great execution is most depressing pinata ever. Wow, again, I can only imagine that this is an artwork, because that is a hell of a pinata. And what is it even filled with? You know, obviously it's diabetes if it's filled with lollies and whatnot, but still, the fact that you have to fill that up, or maybe you just didn't, maybe it's just a wireframe model and nothing else. But again, the same with a couple of the other ones. I don't really see how this is awful taste. You know, it's obviously an artwork and it's commenting on something. You know, you might look at it as people are at their most vulnerable when they're at their lowest, or that it's a comment on society bashing people down, or however you want to take it. You can get really deep with it, or you can just think of it as being a giant human piano, which is what it is. But still, either way, I don't think it takes away from the fact that it's an artwork. You know, it's obviously been done well, and this person here has spent time putting all this streamer and everything in the form of this person. So I don't know. I don't really think it's that bad of a taste, really. I don't know. Maybe I'm just completely numb to the fact that artwork can be a bit out there, you know, but I just can't see it as being awful taste when it is so clearly artwork in this case. You know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's not artwork, but really it just looks as though it's artwork. There'd just be no other reason to make a pinata like this. So hey, let me know if you disagree with what I was saying. Maybe you think I'm just being ridiculous and some artsy person. I really don't think I am, but obviously a whole bunch of people do, because this is the top of all for taste. And in that case, I'll happily cut my losses, but it doesn't change the fact that I just don't think that this is all for taste but great execution. I just think it's a piece of artwork that maybe people think is a bit weird. But anyway, that is going to do it for the top of all for taste but great execution. Thank you for watching. If you did enjoy the video, please do the YouTube analytical things down below. Other than that, I've been posting a lot of these, so maybe you want to check some of the other ones out, or even just consider subscribing so I don't miss another one in the future. But all in all, have a good one and see ya.